Good evening and welcome to another update of the Lego giveaway contest that we have going on at the Angry Astronaut. Now, I didn't expect to be doing so many updates, but frankly, things have changed very quickly and all for the good. We have moved from being 1/3 of the way to 100 subscribers to over halfway. Last time I checked, we had 53, 54 subscribers. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. Obviously, you guys have been sharing my videos amongst your friends and your contacts who also care about the space program and Legos for that matter. And so I'm very, very grateful to you. We're getting there. But in the meantime, I have made a couple of decisions. Before we get to that though, got something else to show you. This here is a partially assembled work that's going on that is the second prize of our Lego giveaway. And as you can see, we've got a spaceship, glider, shuttle, whatever you want to call it, with two astronauts, one male and one female, by the way, which, as you know, I really like. It's definitely what we've got to do if we're going to be colonizing Mars, obviously. And we also have a rover. Very cool. By the way, this is the second prize, not the grand prize. We also have a container for specimens and other samples taken from the Martian surface. Very cool. Also necessary. And then finally, a drone to explore the Martian surface. Now, obviously, the little rotors here on the drone are not nearly big enough given how thin the atmosphere is on Mars. But nevertheless, this is very cool. And by the way, I didn't take your second prize and start putting it together. It's right here. I just couldn't resist getting another one and starting to assemble it. So, I've made my decision. We're going to have a tie, actually, when it comes to the topic for my next major video. It's going to be a combination of the Starlink initiative and space junk, since in my opinion, the two are kind of linked. But just because I've made that decision doesn't mean you can't continue to post. Continue to post ideas until I come out with that next video, because I might use them for one thing, and secondly, if you post, you get 2 entries into the giveaway, regardless of whether I've made a decision or not. However, for those who have won, you automatically win this prize. So, I will be communicating with the two of you, the 2 winners. You probably know who you are, and getting the information necessary to make sure that we ship you your prizes. But the contest continues, and also I want to be 100% clear that just because this part of the contest is over, that doesn't mean the whole thing is over. I'm going to have other initiatives between now and the end of January for you to increase your chances of winning. Obviously, if you've already done things up to this point, that's going to give you a really good chance. But there will be other things for some of you late-coming subscribers to use if you want to increase your chances of winning the grand prize, which you've seen before. But nevertheless, have another look at it. Can't believe I'm giving this away, but there you go. So, once again, thank you very much. Now, in the meantime, there is a major event coming up in space history, and it's something I think we should talk briefly about. Now, I say space history because this is an event that will certainly go down in history, and on Saturday we are going to have the first ever test of the escape system for the Crew Dragon, the last hurdle that this ship needs to go over before it can make its journey to the International Space Station. But I can't help but wonder, even though, assuming that they complete this test successfully on Saturday, even though the Crew Dragon has jumped over every hurdle put in front of it thus far, is it going to make the first trip to the space station, in spite of the fact that the Starliner hasn't passed all the tests with flying colors. That leads me to wonder, how exactly does Jim Bridenstine's mind work? But before we get to that point, I think it's important that you know what an escape system is and why it's important. So, we have a simulated takeoff of a proton rocket that the Russians use to demonstrate the use of an escape system.
And liftoff of the most reliable rocket on the planet, a proton rocket with a Soyuz capsule atop it. Such a beautiful sight, wouldn't you say, Joe? Sergey, should it be doing that? Do not worry, it is reliable Russian technology. We have launched this many times. Sergey, I really think you ought to launch the escape tower now! You Americans are so panicky. Okay, here we go. And just to be sure, I will show you a second view, in case you do not trust me. Just wait a moment. See, no problem, but there was really no reason to have to, Okay, Sergey, now that the crew's safely away, it's time to hit the self-destruct. Self-destruct means failure. We Russians do not believe in self-destruction charges. Are you shitting me? There are people on the ground! Don't worry, you wussy American. This is Kazakhstan. We used to drop nuclear weapons here. They're used to things blowing up. Plus, they are very good at running away. See? No problem. Oh my God! Oh, come on, what's your problem? You Americans like to blow things up. Besides, what about that angry astronaut guy? Doesn't he blow things up at every video? Yeah, but that guy is an absolutely crazy piece of shit.
Clearly, this was not a video depicting crew in actual jeopardy here. There are only satellites aboard that Soyuz rocket, and no human beings were ever in, well, serious jeopardy. Aside from the fact that I wasn't exaggerating about the lack of self-destruction charges. The Russians and Roscosmos actually have a policy of not destroying their rockets should they go awry, for reasons which I can't begin to imagine. But in any event, the design of escape systems are fairly similar, but there's some differences with the SpaceX version which will be going up on Saturday. Let's cover a couple of those real quick.
Now, escape systems since the 1960s have used engines mounted on a tower atop the capsule. The Dragon is a little bit different. It utilizes its Super Draco engines mounted on the ship itself. And I never get sick of watching this. This is not speeded up. This is actual time. The Super Draco engines drive the capsule away from any harm at a distance of half a mile in only 7 seconds. Then, once it's away from any potential explosion, the Draco deploys its parachutes and begins to float back towards the ocean, or wherever else that it may have launched from. Nice and smooth. This has been done a number of times from the ground, but on Saturday, they're going to be launching it from an exploding Falcon 9 rocket, intentionally blowing up one of their own rockets in order to prove that their system is viable. And as I mentioned before, if this test is successful, this will be the final hurdle that NASA has placed in front of SpaceX before they can launch a crewed Dragon capsule to the International Space Station and finally return Americans to space aboard American vessels. The question remains, however, are they really going to allow a SpaceX vessel to go up instead of one produced by Boeing? It would seem like a no-brainer. If the test is successful on Saturday, then SpaceX has produced a vessel that is capable of docking with the ISS. They have successfully docked with the ISS in an uncrewed test. They have successfully used their parachute system many, many times to prove its viability. They have successfully carried out a complete, thorough, and comprehensive test of their escape system, whereas Boeing has yet to dock with the ISS at all. It should be an obvious choice. But what choice will NASA actually make, given the fact that there are 3 states that are depending on Boeing for jobs? That's 6 senators and quite a lot of congressmen, all of whom have an influence over Jim Bridenstine's position and his salary. What's going to happen? We'll find out after this weekend. In the meantime, best of luck to SpaceX, and best of luck to all of you in the Lego Challenge. Keep posting those ideas and get ready for my next video. In the meantime, stay angry about space.